Okay, you have a 90, a
100.
main breaker's 100 here. On the box, over here,
No, it's this one here,
yeah,
12 and 13.
we have 90. This main breaker should equal the main breaker here. Otherwise, you can't have this breaker smaller than this because it could never blow it. Otherwise, they got to be equal
Okay.
because they work on 80%. Okay, this top breaker here on a 40, these two lines are doubled on it for the ACs outside, both of them. Well, one of them is a 40, is a 4-ton unit, and the other is 1.5 tons. So they can't be on the same breaker because of the fact that a 4-ton would take at a 35 to 40 amp breaker, a 1.5 tons would take a 20. But you can't have oversized breakers for them. This, all the open knockouts, wiring here should be fastened like this. That tells you this is done professionally. Okay, the code says 8 to 12 inches, whether if it's a metal or a plastic box. So these wires were never fastened, so whoever done those, see, here's the code. This is code, this is not. Okay?
So fixing that is putting new.
Basically, the electrician just got to come in and fix it all up, put the knockouts in,
the right
and size the proper there.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now look at the wire right alongside of it. See the exposed wiring in the ground on the black one?
Yeah.
Okay, the code says that that covering, the black covering, should go inside that plastic box 1/4 of an inch. That's electrical code. It also says that any time that you have a wire coming from a plastic box, it has to be secured within 10 inches. This is done right. However, the wire in the box is illegal because the coating doesn't go in 1/4 of an inch. This wire here, the yellow wire, doesn't have any support. So this was done by a non-electrician. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, this is your stairway and you carry it. See this one board going across the back?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's not even setting. See where it's notched out?
Oh, jeez.
That should have been a double header here. This, what we call a stairwell, goes down. Okay. That should be doubled. And then with a joist here, but this double trim, what we call double trim on the stairwell, should have a joist hanger alongside this joist. And there's no joist hangers. See, you should have, that's structural. Now, on this stairwell, support, see where this carriage goes up here against this header, this should be fastened right here, support. Because you have nothing all the way down on this side. So you should have a piece across here in the center, someplace to hold it. Okay, on this side I only have one nail up here at the top, and I should have double. See, there's no nails here.
So basically there should be this should be studded out for it to support
Well, you
it.
don't have to support all the way, but the stairwell here is structurally inadequate. It's got to be a double joist, the tail joist, the joist coming from here over. We put hangers on everything so nothing moves, okay? And what he did, he just figured where it cantilevered over, that'd be all right, but you still got to have the joist hangers just like you do over there on the other tail joist. It just, the stuff just should be finished out, that's all. He just did.
Yeah, and then it's the metal. I do. Need one of them.
stains up here?
You see them? Mm-hmm. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
Joining a habitable area must be fire rated. The stairway down there has to have railings. Okay, and none of that is fire code in that back section, nor is the railings on the stairway codes. And that's my problem.
What about the door?
The door has to be self-closing. Has to be a 20-minute fire-rated door. That's Howard County. Howard County, matter of fact, makes you use 5/8. But during this period of time, they were using half-inch fire code. You know what I mean? So, no. As long as you understand it, understand what you got. You got to have a new roof. You got to have new siding. Okay. And you got to put a barrier, a weather-tight barrier behind the siding you put up. You got to rebuild the edges of the roof on the dormer so that you can butt the siding underneath. And you got to have ample overhang out here. And on all gutters on this pitched roof, the slope of the roof, you should place the gutters below the slope 1/2 inch. So any snow or ice slides off the roof, slides clear of your gutters. Okay? Hangers you can see on them. As far as the deck is concerned, the deck, there's no permit. You don't have proper flashing because you got the texture 111 behind it, and when you put the ledger board up against it, you don't have flashing. So you have to have wall flashing, and you have to have ledger, and then you have to have kick out on the bottom of the ledger board. You don't have that. The fireplace is completely illegal. Flue's all right, what I can see, but as far as the hearth, the plywood, the framing underneath of it is all unacceptable. And I would say they don't have what we call a use and occupancy, a UNO on this house. Because there's no building inspector I know would pass the stairway, the joists, no hangers, the headers. But otherwise, you know, as far as the house, the location, I have no problem with that kind of stuff. But and the irony of it is once you start something, you got it open, and he did all the electrical wiring, because there's no electrician will run wiring into a box and not put the sheeting 1/4 of an inch in. I don't care where you go, you don't see that. So that the minute that isn't like that, that tells you it was done by somebody, whether he meant, I don't know what he meant. And I do have water leaks, and I gotta have a new roof in. Okay? And the flashing, what we call a closed cut valley, in the old days they called it a California cut, where it rolls up 14 inches and lays dead over. When the shingles lay dead over on the top, they're cut 2 inches back up, and we embed that in asphalt cement so water can't pass underneath and up underneath the sheeting. That wasn't done. Kick-out flashing you have to have on the front, because where a roof joins a vertical wall and the J-channel comes down, the water then runs down behind the gutter on the end and back down into the framing itself. So at the bottom we always what they call a kick-out flashing to divert the water back into the gutters. And that wasn't done. But you gotta fix her up. That's what you got.
Estimate, fixing it up?
To do everything right?
Ballpark.
Oh, I'd say between 38 and 58,000. Because I don't know what I'm getting into on this roof for ventilation and insulation. You probably wind up putting maybe a metal roof on it, but it's gotta breathe. And I get exhaust in there. I know what the problem is there, that just vents out. If they didn't tape the joints on the exhaust vent on the exhaust fan, you have warm air, hits a cold surface, moisture changes state, and then it'll sweat down through the joints and where it joins the exhaust fan. So, and then the floor's cracking, and I have no way of knowing whether they braced underneath the granite top, because that kitchen's been updated and the electrical's been changed, and there was no permit. That was done after 1986. When you do something after 1986 in the kitchen, you change any type of wiring or anything, you must tie it into GFCIs. You don't have any choice. And you have to take a permit out. There's been no permits, not on the electrical box. You know, maybe if they did it, I don't see it. The only thing I saw the electrical was 1985, and I didn't see a final on it.
Even if they did it, whoever did it didn't meet codes.
No, it did not.
Regardless.
It did not. But I don't know what else to tell you, I'll be honest with you.
All right, have you been on the roof yet?
I'm gonna throw a ladder up on right here, check his
I want
front
to see what kind
area.
of shape that.
Well, this got to be replaced, this is
Right.
not even a, it's not even a gimme. And, because I gotta rebuild the rakes.
Right,
You can't have the siding coming up on the outside of a rake and it's open,
right.
because you're gonna get a driving wind and a rain. And vinyl siding is not a waterproof barrier.
But if the roof's stable, you could,
No.
can't extend it?
Don't do that to me, no.
No?
No.
No.
Can't do it. Just pop it and be done with it. Just gotta rebuild it out, put the overhang on it, pull it back in, put a ladder like a ladder work on the outside,
Right.
give you a little overhang, okay? I mean, it's easy to make it up and fasten it up, put the flashing up on the top, use all pressure treated, you know, in that particular area. And the vinyl corners, exterior corners, you can't put them down on the roof. You gotta stay 3/4 up to allow where a J-channel runs down the side of the dormer, the water runs down. Got to run back out. Because if not, dirt, debris, leaves, and ice, and that's where we get a lot of leaks on dormers. Matter of fact, probably 100% of them. And that's where they always rot.
Okay, I want to take a look at that with you.
Yeah, not a problem.
I need the.
What are we recommending that they do? What are we gonna ask them to do?
Well, what his feelings are, you want electrical certification, plumbing, okay, a structural and the fireplace area,
Staircase.
the staircases in the, and any permits where they converted the garage area entrance up to the second floor. There's no permits on this stuff. You want to copy all the permits for any work you've done. Just like the electrical in the kitchen. This kitchen here, they did electrical work and didn't bring it to code. And the electrical code says the minute you alter electrical in a kitchen, you must bring it up to code.
Meaning the GFIs.
Yeah. Now, when the house was built, you didn't need it because it was before July the 1st, 1986.
Okay.
It's just, unfortunately, the gentleman's probably handy and he did a lot of the stuff himself and he assumed that he was doing it right, but it's not. And they didn't flash where this deck attaches to the house. And the unit texture 111 is not a barrier or waterproofer. You gotta have flashing and you gotta have ledger flashing and drip edge underneath. So this here was never a permit.